Welcome back in, everybody, to a Football Friday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, Johnny Mack, John McMullen, rolling along here as we wrap up week number 2 of the Eagles. They were on the practice field today for practice number 7, and they will be off tomorrow. And then first preseason game is next week for this football team. We got Johnny Mack by phone tonight. A little bit of internet issues. J Mac, how you doing, brother? We are back, and we're going to talk a little Micah Parsons here in hour number 2.
Yeah, I tried to get back on. Still in one bar, so I got back on the phone. But,
yeah, I did see the Xfinity thing that shows an outage where you are.
Yeah. Hopefully at some point they figure it out. But we'll make do as best we can. And I apologize for the issues, but yeah, I mean, nobody makes the Eagles look better than the Cowboys as far as the organizations are run. And boy, they just keep doing the same damn thing. Jerry Jones is a Hall of Fame businessman, and Don Van Natta tweeted it out, and I just emphasized it, and he said it better than anybody could when he said, and we've talked about it on the show, Jerry Jones doesn't mind paying a few million in a mega contract if he and the Cowboys can generate $100+ million worth of free publicity by dominating the NFL conversation in July and August. This is Jerry's preseason soap opera playbook, rinse, repeat. He does it every year. Every year.
This wasn't all Jerry. Well, I guess it was Jerry-induced, but Micah didn't have to come out today and say what he said. I thought Micah made a good point, obviously, and I know it doesn't matter. It's Jerry. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants. But, Micah's got to protect his brand and who he is as a player. So I thought the statement made sense, and it just shows you, John, how they really don't give a shit, man. They do not care when it comes to putting a winning team on the football field. I don't think, John, they're even trying to be good. It doesn't feel like they're even trying. Like, I don't think Jerry gives a shit about what goes on the football field.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Yeah. So he's a great businessman, Hall of Fame businessman, but he's not a Hall of Fame football man. And for people that care about winning, and that's the fans, because they don't care about the business. He cares about the brand. He cares about what he has built the Cowboys in. And he doesn't care about Lombardi trophies anymore.
No.
It's hard to argue otherwise. Other than, from his perspective, he pays them in the end. And he doesn't mind paying them extra. But what that leaves out is the fact that you pissed off the player. Like his mentality is, I'm going to pay him, so just go along with it, wink, wink. But now, some people don't like it, and that's what happened with Micah today. And he doesn't like it, and now you pissed off your best player. It's just a bad way of doing business.
How do you think it ends? You think Micah stays? You think he goes? You think a trade is granted? What do you think? How do you think that ends? Probably the same way.
He's not getting traded because they're going to pay him top of the level money, and they're going to make him the highest paid edge rusher of all time. And from Jerry's standpoint, he's kept his team relevant throughout the dead months, and they're still the Cowboys, and everybody's constantly talking about them. And they'll work it out, and he'll play for the Cowboys. But it's not how you build a winning team. And, this is where the Eagles can spike the football because, they do things the right way. So look at this division. You got Terry McLaurin requesting a trade in Washington. You got Micah Parsons requesting a trade with Dallas. And the Eagles are just drama-free for the most part. Does it matter as much as on the field? No, you need talented players, but it matters. The culture part of it matters. and they have a good culture, and Dallas has a shitty culture.
Entertain me, John. What would it take to get Micah?
But first of all, this is one I wish to God would happen. I wish to whatever your God is, I wish to whatever deity would happen simply to watch Eagles fans line up and admit finally how good Micah Parsons is. So I would love to see it.
I don't think he fits Vic, though, John. I really don't.
Oh, he fits Vic to a T.
What?
To a freaking T.
Does he set the edge? Can he stop the run? I don't know if he does those things that great. I'm not saying he's not a great football
player. He's an
player.
all-ball linebacker. He's a flex defender. He fits Vic Fangio to a freaking T. Vic would lose his mind if he got.
So go fucking get him, John. Give me a first in Nolan Smith if he fits him to a T. Are you kidding me?
By the way, I would give a first and Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt for Micah Parsons. Yeah, it's for, as bad as the Cowboys are, I can't believe they would ever trade him in division. And first of all, they're gonna work it out.
Yeah,
number one, but they're not gonna trade him in the division. But boy, I wish it would happen just to see all these morons who said he can't play, he can't do this, he can't do that. And then they'd fall in love with him the minute they saw him play, the minute they actually sat down to watch him play. There aren't too many people. Like I said, Nick Sirianni has said this numerous times off the record. And the only reason I can say it on the record is because he finally said it on the record. The Eagles had the best offensive line in football. And he acknowledges they can't block him. And he said, if you can't block somebody, read them. And that's what you do. And you try to take advantage of it and sort of, go underneath and do different things. But he acknowledges they can't block him because nobody can block him. It's not just the Eagles.
All right, so John, Howie admitted to something I don't know if it was last year or a year and a half ago. He was on the podcast with, I believe it was Jason Kelsey. I do my homework on everybody. I never want to know what somebody's value is on the open market. Even if I'm not even thinking about it, I'm getting the information I need. That's part of my job, is paraphrasing. That's kind of what Howie said. So he's making the calls to figure out what people would even think about offering. Not to say they're going to trade him. I don't think they're going to trade him either. But, their phone's going to ring. What do you think it would be from the Eagles to try and get Micah Parsons?
Why do we have to do this? I mean, it's not possible. It's not plausible. It's not plausible. You start with it's not as much as you think because you have to pay him $40 million. So that'll knock it down to maybe one first-round pick, maybe a player, maybe a Jalen Hunt, and then go pay him $40 million a year. But the Cowboys, if it got to the point where they were going to trade him, and it won't get to that point, they're not going to trade him in the division. Steven will put his foot down, Steven Jones. Jerry might do it because Jerry's, Lord knows what's going on with Jerry. But, Don also tweeted out the same thing. And I remember this because I was at that draft. It was still at Radio City. Everybody thought the Cowboys were going to take Johnny Manziel because Jerry wanted him so bad. And he didn't want him because he thought he was going to be a good quarterback. And he told Don specifically that drafting Johnny Manziel would have guaranteed the Cowboys relevance for a decade. That's the way he thinks. It's got nothing to do about football, which is bizarre to me because the Cowboys are the brand is to the point where they don't need that bullshit. They're the Yankees, they're the Lakers, they're Manchester United or whatever. If you're a soccer, they're that, and he still acts like they're trying to capture what they already have. It's bizarre, but it's good for the Eagles.
It's great for the Eagles. There's no doubt about it. It's funny to see it unfold. We will see how they respond. I don't know if this is true, but somebody said this afternoon, John, that Jerry's response was, I got more shit about the CD Lamb contract.
I don't
I don't
know.
know if
Yeah,
that's
well, that's
actually
another thing. Jerry's great to cover. I mean, because he
because
talks all the
he talks
time
and doesn't give a
and
shit,
he
and he always says
just
the wrong.
says
Yeah.
stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's they don't have a chance to win. So Eagles fans should be happy with that part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll tell you though. I mean, you talk about adding that player to this team on what is the weakest position on paper. I mean, from a football perspective, it is a perfect fit. Perfect.
If you were the GM, would you be pulling the trigger? Would you be doing this? Because look, I know we say that they're never going to trade him, but everybody's got a price, John. And if you wow Jerry enough, I wouldn't be surprised if he did it. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Would you do it if you were the GM? And what would you give?
Well, I'd give away, the concerns about Nolan Smith or Jalen Hunt are laughable. But again, you got to pay him $40 million.
You're going to pay
Minimum.
Nolan. What are you going to pay Nolan in a couple years? 25,
Well, how he said it with Myles Garrett, same thing. We're not in a position to do that at the current time.
Myles Garrett was 30. Micah Parsons is 26.
Yeah, he's probably a better fit too, believe it or not, because of the way Vic plays. Because he can play all ball, he can drop, he can. It'd be a perfect fit from a Vic standpoint. But
I know you don't want to answer it because you'll tell these Eagles fans you're going to give away all their favorite players to get Micah Parsons. You don't really give a shit. Is that true or false?
But do I give a shit if they?
No, I'm saying you didn't answer what you would give them, and I'm like, you're not going to say it because you're going to piss everybody off. I'm going to give away all your favorite players.
I think it's ludicrous. Yeah, those people would exist. Like, you can't trade Nolan Smith. Yeah, you can. You can't trade Jelly. Yeah, you can. Are you fucking kidding me?
Am I crazy I'd rather trade Nolan than Jalix?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Okay.
But it's I trade Nolan in a second for Micah Parsons. In a split second. By the way, Micah wants to play here too.
I know. That's what I mean. I don't know. How far-fetched is this thing? Is it as far-fetched as you're making it sound?
Yeah, it's far-fetched because, again, as much as, just like Steven talked Jerry out of taking Johnny Manziel, that's why I brought up Johnny Manziel. I forgot to finish my point. Stephen Jones, he was taking Johnny Manziel. Stephen Jones had to literally stop him from taking him, and they ended up getting Zach Martin, who's going to go to the Hall of Fame. So Stephen would not allow him to trade him in the division. Period. End of sentence. So I don't think they're trading him at all. But if it gets to the point where Mike is so upset and he's just not going to do it, they're not trading him to the Philadelphia Eagles. There's no.
John, what way to get good publicity off trading Micah Parsons and trade him to the Philadelphia Eagles? Are you kidding me, John? He'll be getting publicity when the Eagles are playing in the playoffs about trading him to Philly. If he truly only cares about the media currency and the media value, Jerry wouldn't rule it out, John.
Well, I'm not saying Jerry's like Joe Biden with the pen, but Stephen will stop him. He already did. He's done it in the past. He's done it in the past numerous times.
We've had Stephen on the show in the afternoon. I'm gonna have to reach back out to him, try and get him on.
Yeah, he's got. Ask him about Johnny Manziel. Tell Sills to ask him about Johnny Manziel. I don't. He'll probably tell the story. Yeah, I mean, no. There's enough sane people in that organization that would stop him from trading him in the division.
Good stuff there. We got a couple super chats on this, John. Kyle Kokorski says, I'd rather trade for secondary help than trade for Diddy Parsons.
And again, if they were able to pull off the miracle, mark that name down, because he would be losing his mind. All of you would. I can't force you to be honest with yourself.
I would be honest. I'm fucking ready to make the trade, John. Are you kidding me? Give me that player, John. I don't give a shit. I'm with you. Are you kidding me? I'll make that trade.
What's not to like about the player?
I don't know. People say he doesn't show up in the playoff. I don't know. People come up with stuff.
Here we go. He doesn't show up in the playoffs. The 4-time All-Pro doesn't show up in the playoffs. But Josh Sweat showed up in the playoffs. And you don't care about Josh Sweat because he left. Yeah.
Valenci says, you're making me very interested in Micah, J-Mac.
He's a great player. I mean, he's a great player. I wish you could hear Nick Sirianni talk about him. It's great. When they asked Vic, Brookie asked Vic about, the comp, if Vic laughed, he laughed.
He did.
He said, come on.
That shows you how much Vic thinks of him.
He said, come on. No, I'm saying it. Yes, it shows you how much Vic thinks of him.
Yeah.
It was a ridiculous comparison and unfair for Jalix, to be honest. But yeah, I wish people understood, but he's a Cowboy, so they don't like him. But the minute he got here,
I don't know. Go ahead.
The minute he got here, the minute they saw him play on a consistent basis, they haven't had a rusher like that in forever. Hassan Reddick had a great year. He does that every year. Yeah.
I don't know why I have a feeling, John, that Howie is interested. He's working
phones. Oh, God. First of all, everybody loves the player. Everybody.
That's what I mean.
You're misconstruing. Of course they like the player. Why wouldn't they like the player?
Yeah, but Howie can shake and bake and make some moves. If he really wanted him, it's not impossible.
Why would the Dallas Cowboys trade their best player?
Because it's Jerry Jones. Why does Jerry do it? Why would Jerry do anything that he does?
Yeah. Like I said, this is one I wish would happen. One, I'd like to see him play every week because he's that type of player. That's like, it's like,
yeah, it'd be fun to cover.
And B, I want to see all the people that said all the he's shit turn into the biggest Micah Parsons fans in the history of the world. Getting the jerseys. They'll be out there asking Zander for free jerseys.
Oh, John, they would be I'd be eating it up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, you didn't show up in the playoffs.
There's another comment. Ethan says, how many sacks does Micah have in the
How many sacks does he have in the postseason? Oh my Lord! How many sacks?
Why do you dismiss John? What can you? I'm not even trying to. I'm just asking genuinely for an explanation. Why do you downplay that like so quickly?
Because it's such a low. It's an LD. It's an LCD comment. It is lowest common denominator.
Right.
That is WIP shit. Go turn on WIP. Go turn that on. It is lowest common denominator. And we're trying to educate fans. It is the ultimate team sport, as their own head coach tells them. I don't want to get back in the argument, but the whole is, he doesn't win big games. games. He doesn't win big games. For any quarterback in the history of the game. Does anybody play? What is it? I'll ask you. I'll ask any of the fans. What is your definition of a big game?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I would say a playoff game, and the closer you get to the final, the increasingly more important they get.
They're certainly increasingly more important. But the point is, nobody gets to the Super Bowl without winning the NFC Championship game. You don't get to the NFC Championship game without winning the divisional round. You don't get to the divisional round without winning the wild card if you're playing in a wild card. You don't get to the playoffs unless you win big games in the regular season. Nick has often pointed out, if Cooper's playing Iowa State in college, that's a fucking big game for him. If he's back in high school playing his rival, whatever his high school, that's a big game for him. The reason I say that is because most of the people, you got to win a Super Bowl. You got to win a Super Bowl. They said it about Andy Reid for years. Can't win a big game. How do you get to a big game if you can't win a big game? It is LCD, lowest common denominator.
John, let's go get Micah Parsons. I know you got some pull in there, Johnny Mac. Walk in there and say, you guys want to go win another Super Bowl? Go fucking get Micah Parsons from down. I know they're interested, Joe.
Look, from a football perspective, he's a home run. But if he's on the...
I do want you to explain that, because some people think, he's not the well-rounded edge. And one of the things Vic has looked for in an edge, why didn't he like Bryce Huff? And I'm not saying Mike is Bryce Huff. I'm just saying Vic seems to like the edges that are very versatile in a sense of set the edge, stop the run, and get after the quarterback and do it all well. Micah, I don't know I was obviously a great player, but does he do that super well?
Well, first of all, you're way, if you're saying number one for Vic is get the passer, number one.
Right. Well, that's that's
number two is the flat defender part of it, not run support.
Okay.
And those are the two major things he wants. And he does both of those things better than 95% of his peers. And I might be lowballing it.
Yeah, you probably are.
And nobody's sitting there looking at Hassan Reddick back in the day and saying, well, he's not the best, when he had that season, he's not the best run defense player. And by the way, Mike is not terrible at it. So I don't know where that came from. But, he's a little bit undersized. That's the reason why people misevaluate him coming out of Penn State. And he should have been an edge rusher from the get-go. And they fixed it with Abdul Carter, who's not as good as Micah Parsons. But, he's Khalil Mack for Vic Fangio.
Right.
That's what he would be for Vic Fangio. And he's one of the top 10 players in football. Regardless.
John, listening to you right now is like, I want to clip it and send it to the fucking Eagles front office and say,
they already know. Trust me on this one. They are very well aware how good Micah Parsons.
So go get him. What do we hold? I guess do you think the biggest hurdle is that the Eagles wouldn't pay him, or is Dallas trading him in the division a bigger hurdle than actually acquiring him?
Dallas trading him to the Eagles is a bigger hurdle than the Eagles can't pay him, which is a big hurdle. Both are big hurdles, but the biggest is Dallas would not. I refuse to believe they would ever trade him to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, I don't know what it would. Everybody's got a price, John. Throw in another first for all I give a shit, man. Go get the dude. If he's 80%.
Well, I mean, you got to be realistic. I'm not paying somebody $40 million and giving up 2 first-round picks.
Why?
Even Eagles picks because you don't have to. Why? I mean, Howie doesn't do dumb people don't do dumb things because you don't have to. Now it's fair to say, you might have to pay a tax for, in division trade. You might have to pay more than, say, the Chicago Bears or the Los Angeles Chargers, which everybody in Philadelphia has such an interest in. You might have to pay more than they have to do to get them to trade in the division for, a normal player, never mind a all-pro player. But if you're paying a guy $40 million, and that might be lowballing it, I don't. Is there any evidence that somebody's getting 2 first-round picks and paying $40 million?
No, I think the hurdles that you talked about, I mean, I think they are real. And if you did want to actually acquire the guy, you're going to have to pay a premium. And for a team that has as many young, good players as we have right now, I don't know what's more valuable, John, an extra first-round pick or Micah fucking Parsons on the team. You hear what I'm saying? I get it. In theory, yeah, it's dumb. You don't have to do it. But shit, if that's what you do to get it done, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, no, an extra first, I'm out on Micah. I mean, if it's an extra first, give up the first.
Well, Nolan Smith has more sacks in the playoffs. So.
Well, Nolan Smith and Jahad Campbell combined are 2 late first-round picks. Would you trade those 2 guys for Micah Parsons?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade both of them. I'd trade one of them.
I was just trying to say, like, in theory, you're holding on to a first-round pick that might become, probably after 25th pick in the draft. I don't know. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but like, if that's
you don't need them.
That's not the deal done, I would. It would be done already.
He has no sacks in the Super Bowl. You don't need him.
Yeah, I am quickly seeing at why you think that is the dumbest comment on planet Earth.
Yeah, I'm joking. Obviously, look again. If he were on the Kansas City Chiefs, if he were on the Denver Broncos, if he were on the Carolina Panthers, I would think that at this point, especially after seeing the edge rushing group for a little bit here, that Howie would be, investigating things, and I hope I'm wrong because I'd love to see it, but I think Steven would stop Jerry from doing anything.
Well, I don't think you're wrong in the sense of it would take a major upsetting of the apple cart in certain rooms in probably both organizations to make it happen. So it's an uphill battle for sure, but I'm not ruling it out, man. I think Howie wants this player, especially listening to the way you talk about the way the Eagles talk about him.
Well, yeah, I mean, but they love Myles Garrett. They love Myles Garrett.
And Myles Garrett's 30, John. He doesn't really fit what the Eagles were trying to do, really. I mean, $41 million for a 30-year-old is a little different than $40 million for a 26-year-old that fits.
No, because they're thinking about things in the immediacy and winning another Super Bowl. I mean, if you get Myles Garrett for 2 years.
You think Myles Garrett's better than Micah Parsons in terms of, like, right now? Would he have helped the Eagles more than Micah would?
I think Myles is better. I think Myles is the best.
Me too.
Arguably the best player, really, in the world. And by the way, I think he played on a 3-win team last year.
Yeah.
Didn't get a sack in the Super Bowl. But I think, yeah, I think but I think Mike is a better fit for Vic. I think Mike is a better fit for Vic.
Shit, man, this has got me fired up, John. I didn't think I'd have this much energy.
Miles is more of a traditional.
Yeah, right.
Right
But I was I
depth
think he's
player.
definitely better. I think most would agree with that. But I do wonder. I mean, the way you explained, the way that Michael would fit in the defense. Boy, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's funny though, John. The way it all, even just leaving the Eagles out of it for a second, it is funny the way it all unfolds. It's Dallas is a hilariously run organization, but hey, they keep making money, and that's all they care about.
Yeah, I don't I don't know why Jerry's worried about the relevance of the Dallas Cowboys, but he is. I guess that's his greatest fear, but they're never going to win again until he's out of there. And it's a shame because they have some smart. Will McClay is one of the best personnel guys in the NFL. And Steven's done some good things, but they're just overrun by a guy who's, I don't know, doesn't care about.
I don't know what you
the main thing is not the main thing in Dallas.
Yeah. Maybe that's where Jalen came up with that thing. He looked at Dallas and said, all right, how do we do the opposite of what they're doing to win? That's pretty funny. All right, Johnny Mac, great conversation on Micah Parsons. Great breakdown of the practice today. We will get back to some Eagles. We'll close out the show in about 11 minutes, it looks like. So great stuff. The phone held up strong, John, tonight. So Xfinity crapped us. Boy, John, the internet's really like us in the morning, don't they, man?
Well, I feel a little bit better because there's an outage. Something's going on, but yeah, it has been an issue. I never have a problem in the morning, very rarely.
5 years, John. We've had very, very few problems with your internet. That's why I was joking with the people in the chat. I'm like, I don't really think it's John's internet. I've been doing the show with him he's been on the channel now for 5 years doing this.
Yeah. I had like a 2-year stretch of no issues whatsoever. But it happens. It's frustrating, but it happens. Yep. So Verizon wins over Xfinity. Xfinity. Get your shit together.
There you go. Xfinity won't be on our sponsor target list at all coming soon. All right, Johnny Mac, wrapping up week number 2 of training camp. It's been 7 days of on the field practice that at least have been open to the reporters that you've been able to consume and watch and take in. Where are you as we wrap up week number 2? They have off tomorrow. They're moving into the preseason game, week number 3 next week. Sounds like you're where we were when we started. This team needs an edge rusher, Johnny Mac.
Yeah, and there happens to be a guy asking for a trade who's from Harrisburg and played at Penn State, and Jeff Kerr would advocate being here. Yeah, the Penn State people would all go nuts. The Harrisburg people would all go nuts. And all the Eagles fans who don't realize how good he is will go nuts. That's going to be the giveaway of the year, Micah Parsons.
That would be massive, man. How huge. We would have one of the biggest shows maybe ever, instant reaction show, if Micah Parsons got traded to Philly. John, what other takeaways, man? Let's just recap one more time for the people that missed it. Just the biggest takeaways. I know there's probably not too many, but just things that reiterate of what you saw today, day 7 at camp for the Philadelphia Eagles on the football field.
Oh, I thought you were talking big picture. Get the auto pen away from Jerry Jones. That's the big picture. But for the Eagles, big Saquon practice. Yeah, and defense is still a work in progress, man. Vic's trying to figure it out, but you see little pieces and little upsides, and say, all right, maybe this can work. I see that at linebacker. I see it in the secondary. I don't necessarily see it on the edge.
We'll see, Johnny Mac. We'll see how it all shakes out, brother. I'm gonna let you run here just a little bit early, but John, it's now blinking in my. I can see the notification hitting my phone right now, John. I can picture myself, John, sitting here and setting up the instant reaction, making the thumbnail, making the title, sending you the link, and here we are, Micah Parsons coming to Philly, John. Come on, baby. I'm willing it into existence. What's that book they say where you think things and they happen? The Secret or the
I
Secret
don't
or
know.
whatever.
You got to get your vision boards out. You got to put
Right.
Micah Parsons pictures on your vision boards.
Here, I'll give the people something on the screen right now that they can look at as a vision board. There's a picture of a picture of Micah in Eagle Green. Somebody photoshopped it already.
Yeah.
It's probably been out there for a while, but I'll put that on the screen for vision
I don't
board.
know. You got Abdul Carter. He's got himself, and that's for yeah. I mean, yeah, he'd like to play on the Eagles.
He's not wearing number 11 in Philly, I'll tell you that.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Maybe that'll be the holdup. They're willing to give him $40 million. They're willing to give up 2 first-round picks, but he wants number 11.
Yeah, right. Now you got to go and give what would you have to get? I don't think there's any number AJ would take to give up number 11. Maybe that's the holdup. Johnny Mac, great stuff tonight, brother. Your final thoughts here as we wrap up the week on a Football Friday, a little nightcap edition.
Yeah. I knew this would be a thing, unfortunately. So I blame Jerry, but he is the way he is. Rinse, repeat, as Don Van Nana said. He does it every year now. He does it every year. And ultimately, he will sign Micah Parsons to the highest contract that any defensive player has had in the history of football until the next one comes along. But he will remain in Dallas, and you could remain hating him, Eagles fans.
There you go.
And they got to put it together here. But I do think, that is the position they're most likely to go outside the organization to add somebody. But it's not going to be at the level of Micah Parsons.
Got it. Love it, John. Appreciate it, man. One chat. Let's go, boys. Let's go, birds. Can't wait to get rolling. Thank you, man. Appreciate that chat. Johnny Mac, great show tonight, brother. We'll catch you on Sunday, I believe, because they're off tomorrow, back on the field Sunday. So we'll talk.
Yeah, it might be Monday because I'm going up to SummerSlam, so I might be.
Oh, are you? That's at MetLife this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very good. I didn't know that. Good stuff. All right. Enjoy your weekend, Johnny Mac. Appreciate it, brother. And we'll catch up with you on Monday.
All right. Thanks, all.
All right. Thanks, J Mac. There's Johnny Mac joining us here on a nightcap edition of Foot. What a fun. That's a fun nightcap. All right. Look at it. Look at it. I know you all want it. Come on, Twiz. Come on, Twizzler. I know you want it. Johnny Mac was excellent on the